Well, this is Tavuni Hill Fort. It's located on the east bank of Sigatoka River. It's about 4 kilometers away from Sigatoka town. Okay, so Tavuni is one of the Tongan historical sites where our ancestors lived during cannibalism time. But before the Tongan came in 1800, Fijians were lived up here just to protect themselves from other tribes because of tribal war between villages. In those times, they fight a lot about the land. So until Christianity came, the people were started to move up because people to change them from what they've been behaved or what they've been living through to Christianity. And the fort was being burned because people doesn't want to change into Christianity. So people started to scatter out because that's when the government troop came and burned places where still practicing cannibalism. Okay, so the fort, when the fort burned, people now the descendants living down the foot of this hill, which is called Narata, the descendants of today. Okay, until then, no one lives up here. And till the archaeological group came along and excavated up the fort, okay, and then it opened in 1992. Out of all of the 500 hill forts, Tavuni has everything still as it was. So from then, in 1992 till today, we're still running the fort. The village been running this fort as one of the tourism sightseeing in Fiji, okay, around the Coral Coast, even down the Nandi. Even we have some locals. Okay, today we costing for people to come and have a visiting from here. It costs admissions just to help people maintain the look, children's education, so it helps the community. Okay, we have guided tour that guide tours along to see what's all in up there. Everything that when the fort burned, when people started to left, everything when they start to excavate it never been touched or been rebuilt. Everything is still as it was, like house foundations, killing stone, underground oven, ring ditches, shells or shells midden that been thrown as one of the protected way of people to know that the enemy is going to be attacked the fort. Okay, there were limestones that scattered everywhere here. They built it as wall, okay, as a defensive wall to protect people from climbing or getting to the village. Even they dig the lower part of the hill so that like as a ditches, okay, they sharpen up like sticks like that, and they cover them with grasses. Okay, so if the enemies attack, they would easily fall into that and get trapped. So all these things still as it was up in this fort. From then we have like manager and bottom members, directors that are still running the fort till today.
Naka.
Okay, we started here. So Tavuni means hidden. Okay, it's funded by the European Economic Community through the Tourism Council in the South Pacific. Today, with the descendants, okay, of Narata village, we are running this fort as one of the tourism sightseeing in Fiji. Okay, all these things were being built by the government from the Forestry Ministry in Fiji from 1989 till 1992. The fort was open. Okay, so all this fort was meant for the people to go hide themselves out from their other tribe. People used to live in the village, like they have warfares. They hide in a hill fort or in a cave or even in the village. Watch this stone. Even in the village where they have walls around just to protect themselves. Okay, so all these are limestone. Okay, as we'll walk along the track, you'll notice this was wall. Just because been here for quite a few years now, so all these stones been buried from erosion. Even they covered the soil from the stone. So this was like 90 meters high from the top right down to the bottom. As you can see here, this is quite lower just because now it's a transportation way for people who live up in the inland. They graded this part of the road. Otherwise, this is where all steep. Okay, hardly for people to get attacked in this fort. There are many other hill forts in Fiji. None of the so far has like Tavuni, that still have everything still as it was. People were not cannibal in those times just because not because lack of food. No, it's a kind of a belief that by sacrificing their body or do an offering to their ancestor god, it would give them more power. Okay, just to gain them more power, because when they go out to war, they can win the battle because they have some sort of, kind of power. In this hill fort, everything grow wild. One of those is noni here. Noni, one of the best medicines that's still been found. Very cure, very useful today in the village. Have you tried noni? Right. Okay, on our way we'll notice shells scattered here and everywhere. Okay, all these shells are from freshwater mussels. Okay, sorry, just mind your footstep. The boys will do that later now. Freshwater mussels is one of the main food that been found in this river. Okay, so one of the main thing of these mussels is that when the ladies go to the river and dive them, they bring it all the way up here, they cook them. What they do to the shells, they throw it along the side of the village. Why? When the enemies attack the village, the villagers would know there are enemies around by hearing the shells crunch. Okay, and it's been here for quite a few years today. They've been buried, and when the excavation does, they found still more shells down the bottom of this, okay, from this ground. So today we still have freshwater mussels in our river, one of the main food and also one of the best, one of the source of living along in these, okay, villages. Have a look at this tree. Beach almond, since the Tongan people came here in 1800. They settled some of the outer island in Fiji until they found Tavuni was the best place to live in. People who lived here give them love. They found them to live them together here. So they bring this tree along with them, the plant. This tree is only grow on the coastal area. Okay, beach almond is the only coastal area tree. Okay, never been found along in the inland part of the island. The other trees that grows along in here, this is all just grow wild and grow recently because just to shade or stop the erosion. Otherwise, in those times, they don't have any of those trees growing in here because people can easily see whoever comes and goes from here. Okay, this is just all been recently grown today. So this is the underground oven. One of the first things that you're going to be finding in here is the oven, okay, the lavo. So this is lavo, traditional method of cooking in Fijian. So today, as we all know, lavo is still one of the main way of cooking feast, okay, big occasions in our villages. So in this oven here, what they have been found that not only traditional stuff that they cook from here, it is also where people or human beings are being cooked too. Okay, they bash their enemies up in the killing stone and then drag their body out from here and they cook them in here. You can see here this only amount, this much of oven that they found today. Otherwise, was much bigger than this. Just to, it can to feed for the whole body. They found a lot of bones, human tooth, even human skulls from here. An underground oven, lavo. So the fort go right up to the top up there, and it goes all the way down the bottom. People are just living in the center, in the middle of this hill. And they build the village right in the middle of this hill. There are about 56 house foundations that have been found in this fort. Okay? One of those foundations you can see here is rectangular and the other one is circular. Okay? This is rectangular. which is common in a Melanesian group because people live in an extended family in those times. Grandparents, parents, and children all live together. You know, this is bure. Okay, the foundations were being built from stones. The only thing that destroyed from here was walls and old house itself. Okay, extended family lived in here. So it's about 56 houses, more than 56 house foundations. When the excavations held, they found only this 56 house. There are two different types of house mount. One is, as I saying, is rectangular, which is more common in the Melanesian group. And the other one you can see much higher. Okay, it called the Yabudere Lane, which is the higher you sorry, come on.
What's this?
Yeah, this is like a place where people in the village would gather into for any special occasions that would held in the village. Okay, it would be like a community hall or something like that, a big bure. So it would be called a hub. As you can see, that's rectangular, and this is circular. Circular, it's more common in a Polynesian group. Okay, this is circular. Mm-hmm. As you can see, the stones they build more brown and higher, and this one is just okay on the sides.
Right.
Right. The higher place you live in the village, the high standard you are. So probably like more like chiefly family, and all the respective people like priest. Okay, so they would live up in the high mount of the village. That's a banyan tree, one of the oldest tree to here. Okay, more like spirit tree, banyan. See all these stones or these house foundations, all this has never been retouched or rebuilt since the fort was been excavated or been found again okay, so it was all just naturally like this. Even today, as you build houses, you would do cement or concrete, okay, to stick or make it all more stronger. Imagine 18th century, this stone still as it is. What I'm just going to show you here is the oven. When the fort was burned, for people to left for this fort, this cooking oven here was as it was. You know, they must have do the cooking, and the pot was still up on this oven. Okay, this is all the lofty pieces of clay pots, the lapita pottery. Approximately the established of these pots were found was 1,300 years ago. Okay, so out of all the house foundations in the village, this is the biggest one. This is where the chief lives. He lives in a very big house in the village, also right in the center of the village where everyone lives around, because he has to be protected, always has to be in a place where he lives comfortable. Okay, where he is, everything has to be close to him. When you're looking up on the high mountain over here, this was the ceremonial ground, and that was the temple right in the center of this ceremonial ground. And there would be a grave out there for chiefly family. You don't mind if you walk up to me? See the view from here. So this is the temple. We're standing here into the temple. Temple is a very respective place in the village. No one come through here. Only the priest and the chief, because this is like a secret place. This is where mostly they do meditation. And they see you look over through the inland part of the island, the land here. As you can looking down the river, this is Sigatoka River, the longest river in Fiji. It is one of the most transportation way for the people in those days. They travel through bamboo raft along this river, okay? Right. There are many more villages up on the inland, many settlements. Mostly today they're sugarcane farmers and vegetables farmers. This river is where they catch freshwater mussels. So they get through the center of this, okay? Right through there, that's where they get down to the river. They use bamboo to carry the water right from the river right up here and store them in the clay pots. Okay, so now the river, as you can see, is still brown just because from the rain that we've been facing throughout all this time of the year. Okay, our river still get dirty. Otherwise, this river is nice and clean when there's no rain. So the river, when it's get low tide, that's when you see the people get into the river to collect freshwater mussels. Those graveyards that you can see right in the village here, those are the Chiefly family. When the Chiefly family died, they buried them inside the village just to take care of the body from being cannibalized. Otherwise, if they've taken out the body, that means they've taken out the power through the Chiefly family. Okay, they bury them so they keep an eye on them. Commoners or the low standard people, they bury them outside. Never mind, you are stolen or taken because you're not important at all. Chief is taken right up to the highest mound, right up there. Okay, where the cross is the last chief who became Christianity before he died. That shows the cross upright on his head. Okay, see, there's a wild orchid here, still not yet bloom the flower yet. There's one tree and grow two different trees. See? That's Sigatoka Valley on the other side of the river. That's the Salad Bowl of Fiji. We have Nassau Youth Center there where they have like oyster for Japanese school. And that's Nadrala level, the agriculture stations right far where you can see the white roof house right on the top there. Yes, and that's the road right up to the Sigatoka Valley where it goes right up to Navosa. Okay, the highest mount and the tallest roof house in the village, the temple. This is the ceremonial ground. Even today in our villages in Fiji, we still have ceremonial ground. This is the gathering ground where people would gather into for any special occasions. Okay? We have like Wangingi Moli, that's where they get married, and they do celebrations over here. You know what's Wangingi Moli? Where they get married with rolling the orange. Oh. That's a history. Okay. Patuni Bakola. This is the killing stone. The killing stone is where people, mostly the enemies or even the same people in the same village, where they do bash the people from being sacrificed or doing offerings. Okay, so they get the body, they lie down in the middle of this stone. Okay, body lie down in the middle of this stone, head here, neck through the hole, and the man stand down there with a club. Man stand down here with a club. Okay, the weapon. So they bring the one that bashed the head. Blood will drain down through the hole. Down the hole they have a bowl to collect all the bloods. Once the blood all full in the bowl, they take it down to the upright stone there. That's the god.
Oh, to offer.
Right. That's where they do the offering.
Okay.
After they know there is presence in the blood, like power or something, they would know. They gathered in the war men or the warriors gathered in the gathering ground here, and they started to do the celebrations.
Dance and all?
Dance and all, with all this blood, and they drink it all the way. so that when they get into the war, they have to win the battle. So that's where they all do that. And they drag the body out from here, down into the oven, the lobo, and cook it in there. And it's going to be for lunch or dinner. So we thank God as Christianity came, this is what they stopped it. All these things is all history. We are just showing you all this of what our ancestors have been doing in those days, okay? It's another banyan. Mostly banyan is like a spirit tree. You know, see the roots coming out from the stems.
It's the dark one, right?
Yeah, see, go all the way around. Okay, see this tree here? Vessi, you know what's Vessi?
No.
The Vessi tree? Darkwood tree, Vessi, the brown wood.
That's the dark wood.
Yeah. Vessi. Vessi is one of the hardwood tree in Fiji. This is the tree that been left behind when other trees that been taken away. So this all the tree, the kind of tree that where they make their club from. Okay, their weapons. Even the houses, okay, are made from all this from this tree here, the Vessi. So the village go right down there, and it goes all the way right up to the top. And just imagine how you see the fort. And without all this tree, would it be a beautiful village? With all the burras around here, with the good breeze and the view. Things. So till today, we have management that running this fort from the village. So we have no other, since the European Economic Community founded this place, since it was just started open, till then, no other fund that been found this place. So whatever visitors comes in a day, that help us maintain the look, that gives the youth in the village a job to come and cut trees and some, you know, cut grasses and yeah, just to help the community out.